I'm gonna start rapping, man. And everybody gonna be saying, man, I'm being Roy Jones Jr. I'm coming out like Roy. Y'all must have forgot. Yeah. Nah, I can't rap though, y'all. I always been a fighter. I play sports though. I play any sport. I play any sports. Yeah, for sure. We in the rapper session.
Yeah, I like this one, bro.
I can't rap, man.
Well, I'm dressed like this time, work, over. We got jobs, shit.
Yeah, I can't rap. That's what I'm saying. So I gotta stick to what I know. I beat people up.
Oh, God.
I beat people up.
Man.
You know what I mean? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. At 12, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Canelo. Man, yeah, we still alive. We got.
Terence Crawford and Canelo Álvarez just sent shockwaves through the boxing world.
Terence Crawford and Canelo Álvarez just shook up the boxing world with an explosive live press conference. After years of heated exchanges and rising tension, their long-awaited fight is finally set. When these two pound-for-pound greats came face-to-face, the energy in the room skyrocketed. But the real shock? Crawford hit Álvarez with a bold statement that left him completely speechless. Let's break down exactly what happened.
From 147 to 168, and the win become undisputed. Wow.
I want to go up to 68. So who would you fight at 68? Canelo?
If he win, or Charlo, the winner.
Wow. That would be crazy.
I want to be 3-time undisputed.
I don't need to take that fight because then everybody's gonna say it's too small, and then, he need to enjoy his fight.
Okay,
He deserve it. He deserve it. I like Spence, but I like Spence and all the respect for him and everything. But I knew. I think is the type of fight Terence Crawford is different. 168, but like I say, nobody's gonna give me credit for that.
Thank you very much.
This fight has been brewing for years, and the anticipation couldn't be higher. Both
fighters are icons in the sport. Canelo Álvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champion, holds an impressive record of 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, with 39 knockouts. On the other side, Terence "Bud" Crawford remains undefeated, boasting 40 wins with 31 knockouts. He's dominated every division he's entered, proving time and time again why he's among the best in the game.
proving why he's one of the best.
When you say, I want Canelo, is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you will whoop his ass.
Like, yes, man touch. You know what I mean?
I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Magomedov.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fights as a stepping stone. It's about now.
This fight isn't just about clashing styles. It's about cementing a
legacy. Fans have spent years wondering if these two would ever step into the ring together, and now it's finally happening. With both Canelo Álvarez and Terence Crawford at the peak of their careers, this fight is set to define their legacies in the sport of boxing.
Stage is set for a showdown that will define their careers.
Heard Turkey Al-Sheikh say that he sent you an offer, possibly face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offer. And look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then we'll see.
The moment Terence Crawford and Canelo Álvarez
walked on stage, the tension was undeniable. This wasn't just a typical press event. It was a long-anticipated showdown. Ever since Crawford's dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. in 2023, which solidified his status as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, critics have debated whether he's truly faced the toughest competition. That's where Canelo comes in. As the undisputed super middleweight champ, he thrives on challenges and is ready to silence any remaining doubts.
Terence Crawford was Turkey Al-Sheikh at the other event across town.
put out an open challenge to you on the internet with Turkey Al-Sheikh calling you out. What's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comments.
The second
their eyes met, the intensity was off the charts. Canelo Álvarez stood firm, arms crossed, with his signature smirk creeping in. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford stayed cool, but the fire in his eyes was unmistakable. The crowd went silent, hanging on to every moment. Then Canelo made his move. He called Crawford out, saying, "You've been dodging me for years. You know it, I know it, and so do the fans. But now, there's nowhere to run. No more excuses." The audience went wild. Crawford, who had kept his composure until then, leaned in, fists clenched, ready to fire back.
Till then, leaned in, fists clenched, ready to respond.
What's your record?
9-0.
9-0. How old are you?
25.
How old?
25, yeah.
25 years old?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. What weight are you in?
В каком весе? Есть переводчик. Lightweight.
Lightweight?
Yeah.
Where were you on the
Doesn't
Contender
matter.
Series? The Contender Series just ended. Where were you?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
You ready?
Give me a chance, please, yeah. Doesn't matter. UFC. Can't deny.
Dodging you? Please. I've been ready. You're the one who's been waiting for the perfect time. Well, guess what? That time is now, and you're not going to like what's coming. And just like that, the battle lines were drawn. What followed was pure fireworks. A heated exchange so intense it felt like a scene straight out of a blockbuster movie. Words flew back and forth at lightning speed, and even the reporters struggled to keep up with the fire erupting on that stage.
Easy work. I heard him say, "I'm easy work." If I was easy work, well, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want $200 million for Benavidez, and he want $150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy.
As the exchange intensified, the atmosphere in the room
As the back and forth escalated, the entire atmosphere changed. What started as a typical promotional event quickly turned into an all-out verbal war. Canelo Álvarez didn't hold back, accusing Terence Crawford of carefully picking easier opponents. But Crawford wasn't about to let that slide. He fired right back, calling out Canelo for avoiding the toughest competition during his reign at the top.
Challengers during his reign at the top.
Bud Crawford, just won his debut at 154. Said if the money's right, we'll fight. Everybody wants that fight. What do you feel about that matchup? People saying the weight, all this stuff. How do you feel about that?
Everybody wants to fight me. Everybody calling me out and everything. And like I say, I have nothing to win with Crawford. 2-3 weights class less than me. But if the money is right, why not? Right? Why not? But look, I'm focused 100% on Berlanga. I know I have a challenge in front. I never overlook any fighter. So I'm focused 100% in this, and then we...
Security had to intervene before things escalated further. But by then,
Security had to step in before things got even more heated. But the message was clear. This fight is personal. Neither Terence Crawford nor Canelo Álvarez is backing down. The energy in the room was electric, and the internet exploded instantly. Social media has been buzzing ever since, with fans and analysts flooding the web with reactions, heated debates, and non-stop memes. This fight has set the stage for one of the biggest rivalries in boxing history.
The others say, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo have, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another. You know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out.
On one side, the Crawford army stands firm, believing their fight.
On one side, Team Crawford stands strong, confident that their fighter is a true pound-for-pound king, ready to cement his legacy by taking down Canelo Álvarez. On the other, Canelo's loyal fan base is just as passionate, insisting that his experience, power, and ring IQ will be too much for Crawford to handle.
I think that Crawford could beat him because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for. I think that fight, if it does happen, as long as Crawford stays away and just boxes and be smart, he can win that fight. I think Crawford's a better fighter than Charlo. And he's a smart fighter as well. He switches and everything, so that would be a...
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, you locked in, sides are chosen, and no one is backing down.
Is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Álvarez. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
But it's not just the fans stirring the debate. Boxing promoters and analyzing history.
My good friend, my brother, Terence Crawford, wants to fight Canelo. Yeah. Just from your expert opinion, knowing how Canelo fights, what he's like in the ring, I know you haven't been in the ring with Terence, but what do you think of that fight?
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that favor Canelo is that is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't.
Meanwhile, legendary trainer Freddie Roach weighed in, acknowledging Crawford's skills.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Every platform is on fire with predictions and passionate fan debates. One fan boldly tweeted, "Crawford's about to give Canelo a boxing lesson." Moments later, another fire back. Canelo's sending Crawford back to welterweight in tears. It's clear this fight has the entire boxing world split, with fans taking sides and no one willing to back down. But it's not just the fans fueling the buzz. Boxing promoters and analysts are jumping into the conversation too. Promoter Eddie Hearn has called this a once-in-a-lifetime showdown, even predicting it could break pay-per-view records. This fight isn't just big, it has the potential to change boxing history forever. Meanwhile, legendary trainer Freddie Roach has shared his thoughts. He acknowledges Crawford's incredible skills, but believes Canelo Álvarez's power and experience in higher weight divisions give him the advantage. It's the classic battle of skill versus strength, and everyone has their own take on who will walk away victorious. Tim Bradley, a longtime supporter of Terence Crawford, didn't hold back after the press conference. He stood firm, insisting that Crawford's sharp mindset and well-thought-out strategy will wear Canelo down. In Bradley's eyes, this fight will prove once and for all that Crawford is the best fighter in the world. On the other hand, Bernard Hopkins, a devoted supporter of Canelo, had a strong response. He pointed out that Canelo has faced tougher opponents throughout his career and knows exactly how to handle high-stakes fights. Hopkins made it clear he believes Crawford is in for a tough lesson in the ring. Experts may not agree on who will win, but one thing is undeniable. This fight has ignited non-stop discussions. Fans are making their predictions, analysts are breaking down every detail, and promoters are riding the wave of excitement. This is more than just another fight. It's a defining moment that could reshape the legacies of both Terence Crawford and Canelo Álvarez. One thing's for sure, the world will be glued to every second of this historic event. This face-off felt like a pivotal moment for both Terence Crawford and Canelo Álvarez. If neither man could gain a mental edge, the real battle will come down to skill, strategy, and execution, where both fighters shine. But the biggest factor at play? Legacy. Both are already considered great, but this fight could elevate them to legendary status. The weight jump adds another level of intrigue. Crawford has dominated at 154 pounds, while Canelo reigns supreme at 168 pounds. The big question is, can Crawford handle the extra weight and Canelo's power, or will his speed and technical brilliance make the difference? That's what everyone is waiting to see. This fight is special because it's not just about titles. It's about breaking boundaries between weight classes. And that's got everyone talking. But beyond the hype, the real prize is legacy. For Canelo Álvarez, a win here would cement his status as one of the greatest fighters of all time. For Terence Crawford, this is his chance to prove he's the undisputed pound-for-pound best and show the world it can overcome any challenge. Canelo Álvarez's legacy is already set in stone, but winning this fight could take him to an entirely new level. On the other hand, Terence Crawford is fighting to carve his name into the history books. For both warriors, the stakes have never been higher. This press conference was just a taste of what's coming. The fight is shaping up to be one of the biggest events in boxing history, and if today's intensity is any clue, we're in for something unforgettable. So, who are you backing? Team Canelo or Team Crawford? Drop your predictions in the comments. And Don,